All right, welcome back. Matt Stein, Matt Darrell, the Guru Johnson with you. Joining us like he does every Monday, one of the greatest fullbacks of all time, Lorenzo Neal. You can also hear Lorenzo Neal tonight at 6 o'clock with Sean Salisbury on the Football Hour.
Lo.
Well, that was the best win of the year for the Niners, right, Lo?
Absolutely. You know it was, guys. It was very, 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 very good win for the Niners.
That's it? Very good? I need an elaboration sensation.
Oh, well, I'm going to give you plenty. I just was trying to say hello and let you guys get it in because, man, we got so much to talk about. Where do we start? We start right with the trenches. Football games are won and lost in the trenches, Guru. We looked at the game last week. You look at what Kansas City was able to do to the Niners. We're like, what happened? Third down, bombs away. They gave up over 5 yards to carry. You know, they've given up over, passing. Their defense was in the top 5 and everything, top 2 or 3 and everything. In the last 2 weeks, it's been ferocious. It's been absolutely despicable. We're watching games, Jimmy Garoppolo running out of the end zone, giving up a safety. Just a lot of things happen against Atlanta. Guys missing wide open catches, balls dropping, guys missing passes. They haven't been great. Couldn't get off the field on third down. And yesterday, guys, early in the first half, if you watch that, Jimmy G, wide open receiver down the field, underthrows the deep ball. He's got to get better on that. Had a touchdown, took 7 off the board. Easy touch-up, layup, miss the layup. You can't miss the layups, especially when you're playing against teams a la Kansas City. You look at, Buffalo. There's teams out there, the Dallas Cowboys. You can't miss layups. And that was a layup. That one pass from the first quarter, wide open down the field. And you watch early in the game. You saw a quarterback. You saw when the Rams quarterback, when he had time, he was lighting them up. You saw Cooper Kupp early. You saw him open up in the end zone, wide open. He had time to go left to right, the middle, and hit the touchdown right in the middle of the field. So you saw the Niners in the first half wasn't necessarily great. It was okay, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, Lo, I was telling Steiny and the listeners, had you called me at half, I would have been like, man, 3 and 5 is – they're staring it in the face. 100-play drives from the Rams. Anything they wanted on third down. What did DeMeco Ryans do to take away Kupp and prevent L.A. from scoring a point at home in the second half?
I think Guru that's a great question because, I watched the same game and saw them the way that they were just taking advantage and really, really, on third down converting, running the ball, had some success. And you say, what did he do in the second half? Second half, it was just a different team. They came out. You saw them sack the quarterback. They came with a lot more games. You saw Fred Warner. Usually they dropped him in coverage a couple of times, but they also mixed it up. You saw that ET where Fred Warner was at the Mike position. He went to the C gap right between the guard and the tackle. Nick Bosa looped inside. Fred Warner got skinny, was able to cut the corner, and they really start to put some pressure on Matthew Stafford. They start making him feel uncomfortable. They start making him go to his first read, and if the first read, the second read, boom, the pressure was there. When you can put pressure on a quarterback, and like Stafford himself, if you look at Stafford, in the first half, Guru, answer your question, they got to go through 1, 2, 3 reads, and they necessarily didn't blitz, and they said, we got to try to get there with the 4, let's play some soft coverage, let's try to, pick guys up, and let's just play zone, and you saw what happened. They weren't good enough on the back end. So what did they do? They said, let me bring some linebackers. Let's bring some pressure. So now when you can bring one more guy that they can't block or you free up a guy and you saw it, now Matthew Stafford, it's not that he wasn't throwing the ball well. It wasn't that he wasn't completing passes in the first half. What happened, though, Guru, now he would go to his first read. If it wasn't there, boom, the pressure was in his face. So that's what they started to do. They started to bring more pressure. They started tackling better, and they stopped the run.
Lorenzo Neal joining us on 95.7 The Game. Lorenzo, like on the one hand, I get that people say, nice win for the Niners. Now they get to enjoy a win during the bye week. Is there anything to the other side of that where you feel is there any other feeling where you might be like, God, we really put it together. I wish we were playing next week again.
No, because I'm going to tell you right now, guys, the Rams aren't that good. I think I hope you guys are saying that on your show too today. And let's not crown them now because you beat a Ram team that hasn't been playing well. You beat a Ram team that you've been owning. The styles make fights. You've been always playing well against the Rams. So was it really a great win? Absolutely. But the Rams aren't making the playoffs, guys. Let's be real. The Rams are not good enough offensively. They do not have enough. They can't run the ball well enough, and they can't protect the quarterback on a consistent basis. They're not getting in. When you look at Seattle, the way that they're playing, Seattle right now is the best team in the NFC West, including the Niners. Even though the Niners beat them, the Niners are in a great position because they're undefeated in the conference.
Right.
So you look at that and you're saying, but who's playing better? Who's able to run the ball better right now? You look at Seattle, what they're doing. And by the way, guys, Pete Carroll, is he not up for coach of the Bears?
Man.
Guru. I mean, Pete Carroll, they wanted to run him out of the place. But has he not shown? Is he not playing well? Has he not gotten those guys, those men to play at a high level?
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Listen, Lo, I'm watching that game, and I'm thinking about Deebo Samuel. And I know we got a short sample size here in Kansas City last week to where we saw Deebo and C-Mac at the same time. But yesterday was about C-Mac. And I was reminded what he's meant and what he's done in this league. Has he done more than Deebo, Lo? Like, I don't want to say who's better, but I'm asking Steiny, like, if you had to pick one, has C-Mac done more?
Well, I think when you look at Christian McCaffrey and you think about what he is, the guy's always been MVP of the league. You watch what he's done. You watch the way the guy that plays. He's absolutely a game changer. When he's leaving, he's got incredible speed. He's going to win 9 out of 10 foot race. He might be, I think, Kamara and him. If you think about, I don't think there's 5 backs that can beat him in a 50 or 100-yard dash. I really believe he's one of the fastest running backs in the league. You saw it in the guy, Guru, when he was in Carolina. Even though Carolina's not a good team, how many times you watch on ESPN where he's even with the guy and he gets his hand and he waves and he takes off and run past brothers? Doesn't matter. He's that type of guy. Right. So when you ask about his body of work, is who do you rather have, him or Deebo? I think you can't. I think it's unfair to both of them because you said, okay, line up Deebo and say, Deebo, you're going to go kickoff returns, you're going to play receiver, and you're going to have a guy that's going to get you the ball and do all this stuff. Deebo's a better receiver. It's not even close. It's hands down. But if you're talking about running the ball in between tackles, the things that he can do, McCaffrey as a runner and as a catcher, then to McCaffrey because it's like you look at what Tennessee Titans have in Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is the most big physical back in the league. So you can't compare him necessarily to Deebo. It's because they're different. And so when you look at McCaffrey is a true running back. He's not a receiver, but he's a running back that's a receiver that can do a lot of things. I mean, you look at what he did. LT, the great LaDainian Tomlinson, who I played with, who you, Steiny, you and Guru love emphatically, he's the only one that, him and Walter Payton, a lot of guys can't do what they do. They can throw the ball, they can catch the ball, and they can run the ball. Derrick Henry I'm not saying he can't catch the ball, but he can't catch the ball as good as C-Mac, and he couldn't catch the ball against the great LaDainian Tomlinson. So when you think about what these guys are, C-Mac is a game changer. I'm not comparing him to LaDainian, but he has some of the same traits, just the speed. He's not as elusive as LaDainian, but when you look at C-Mac, what he does and what this Niner team wants to do is run the zone and get to the edge, and he's a patient runner. You see him stop in the hole, and he can explode. So I know it's a long-winded answer, Guru. I think it's two different things that you're asking, kind of comparing apples to oranges. But both these two players are definitely transitional players. I mean, players that are going to be great in this franchise.
Steiny mentioned that he thought this was one of Jimmy Garoppolo's best performances. I do too, in this sense. I never once thought about the effect that McCaffrey could be the escape route for Jimmy. If nobody's open, he can have his Roger Craig, Ricky Waters coming out of the backfield. Yes. I felt like that gave Jimmy confidence, seeing somebody catch the ball, and then also confidence when he needed to look downfield. I mean, can Jimmy keep this up moving forward? Because, Lo, he's already got the team to the Super Bowl and 2 NFC championship games.
Yeah, and I think that everyone talked about Breida the Cheetah, and you looked at another guy, Raheem Mostert. Those guys were fast, and they could do a lot of different things. They're really fast. But I think Christian McCaffrey's a better back. He's a better out of the backfield. He can catch the ball. He's a better route runner. He knows the feel of the game. And no disrespect to Breida and love, Mostert, from bowler up, hammer down, Purdue graduate. But when you look at McCaffrey is a difference maker. Can he make Jimmy G's job a lot easier? Absolutely. He knows how to be a pro. You watch him on that check down. It was just a check route, a check swing route. But then he felt the corner come up and try to get him, and the corner had his eyes in the backfield. And what McCaffrey do? He just widened and he didn't just sprint, because he would have sprinted, he would have ran out of the end zone. He just started jogging, gave Jimmy the chance to throw the ball, laid in the spot, and the DB came up. So McCaffrey, the difference is, Guru, what you're talking about, McCaffrey, the guy is a student of the game. He makes guys their job easier, because he knows football. You watch him on the screen game. I think when he and Deebo and Ayuk and Kittle get going, this is going to be a matter of how do you distribute the ball and how do you get guys involved. That's what Shanahan has a bag of riches, and I'm telling you, the offensive line played tremendous yesterday. I'm looking at the way that they've got Brumfield, the big brother, 75, on the D-line next to Trent. I mean, watch the way this offensive line, they played a lot better. Yeah, they gave us some sacks. They showed some vulnerability at times. But, man, I'm telling you, they're playing a lot better, and they're protecting. And they protect against a pretty good defensive front in the Rams. So, proud of the offensive line. Defense got to continue to get better. The offense got to continue to get better. But Jimmy did answer. He did play well yesterday. He was very, very efficient and didn't turn the ball over.
Yeah. Lo, thanks as always. Appreciate it, man.
No worries. Cheers, guys.
All right, that's Lorenzo Neal. You can